now in effect for all islands. The good side of that story is the clouds and the rain today did keep the temperatures down. It was only 85 in Honolulu. Locally, heavy showers, isolated thunder showers are coming this way tonight. Low in the mid-70s. More of the same tomorrow. High in the upper 80s and easterly winds, 5 to 15 miles an hour.
Ever since Hurricane Iniki paid its unwelcome visit to our state, folks over on Kauai have been pretty much disconnected from the outside world, even from each other. There has been, however, one reassuring voice cutting through that silence.
Calling FM 93.5, the Communication Central here for Kauai. Again, reporting for the mayor's office. Excuse me, I'm spitting out my tuna fish sandwich. We've been here since Thursday. We're doing okay, though. Are we all right, crowd? Yeah, we're all right here.
Well, now you're from Citizens Utility.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I've got a news.
This has been the lifeline for Kauai residents who are hungry for any information they can get, but also desperate to relay messages to their loved ones. As the only Kauai radio station up and running, KQNG has been a combination news center, messenger service, even therapist for a shaken community.
Please do not clog up our roads. Our roads are gridlocked now. Do not attempt.
They've even got an important word for those of us not on Kauai, because they've been getting a lot of requests like this one.
Okay, I got a message to Peter Kaili from Gale on Oahu to go to Aloha Airlines and get a pallet of freight that they've coordinated, and also to...
And that is the wrong thing to do.
We did also have a problem from Oahu, people sending over items in a very haphazard form, packaging it up and just sending it over. They're getting lost.
So who should people send their items to? How should this be done?
Okay, it should be coordinated through the Civil Defense and the Red Cross. Now, if they're doing it privately, what they need to do is make sure that there is somebody here on Kauai to pick that up, and they know when the items are coming in.
You actually on Oahu probably know more about what's going on here than we do. And I know that sounds...
I'm taking this home just to find out what happened to us.
So what do they say the people of Kauai are most in need of? Well, your prayers, your best wishes, and cash. Monetary donations can be put to use immediately. Well, we'll have more news and more hurricane aftermath coverage on the Nightcast. UPS has resumed delivery service to Kauai.
We're going to take a real short break, be right back with a KGMB News Live special report on Hurricane Iniki, so I hope you're going to stay with us. See you in a couple of minutes. Good night. The satellite record of the moment that the 165 miles an hour winds hit the island of Kauai, the beginning of the greatest natural disaster in Hawaii in our written history, the landfall of a hurricane called Iniki. Good evening. A Category 4 hurricane with a name meaning sharp, piercing wind. It pierced 2 islands. The bill for recovery will be much more than $1 billion. It's going to be a month or more before electrical power is restored. 6 months before it's all restored. The damage to Kauai's tourist business may linger for years. What are the odds of 2 hurricanes hitting the Hawaiian Islands in a single decade? It happened, and both times Kauai took the heaviest hit, pulling the storm in like a magnet. In the beginning, there were some false hopes.
To answer the question of the lady earlier, I realized that homes here on Kauai, certainly many of them not built to withstand super high winds. However, Civil Defense, who has a great eye on what's going on, they're looking at it very carefully, has told us to urge people, they have specifically told us to urge people not to move if at all possible right now.
At this point, they feel it's safer to stay where you are.
Stay where you are. Now, if an evacuation notice occurs, which has happened on Oahu, we will inform you.
And this is Lihue Town, just moments after the hurricane swept north and the all clear was sounded. As soon as the sun came out on Saturday, people in Poipu started the process of rebuilding. Garrett Kamimoto and photographer Sisto Domingo were in Poipu during the hurricane and after.
The combination of wind and waves hammered Poipu, by all accounts the area hardest hit by the hurricane called Iniki. And while most people evacuated to shelters, many stayed in their homes. They said they rode out Eva in 1982, they would ride out Iniki. It was dusk by the time the weather cleared enough for people to get their first look at the damage, but it was the next morning before people were able to get a full assessment. And while the storm took away a lot from people, their spirit was not broken. Dave Park was stunned as he surveyed the damage. He had barely escaped with his life the previous day.
It's amazing. I got out just as this wall started to, there used to be a seawall right here, and it's incredible. The main thing is just, family know that I'm okay.
Park built his home from the ground up.
Finished my house last year, built it. And now, waiting to see what to do next. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel as you walk through there. Looks like it, it's rebuildable.
Jim Wheatley was renting a shoreline home right on the water's edge in Poipu. He surveyed the damage.
I had a strong hunch that this might happen when I knew the timing of the storm combined with the high tide. But you're never ready to actually see it. And it's something to behold.
He'd like to move back into his home even before it's rebuilt.
Right now, I'd like to get a tent and maybe just camp on the edge of the property here. If you're going to be homeless, it's still not a bad place to hang out.
Up the road in Lawai, high winds ripped away at buildings. Yachiko Nakamatsu's home survived Eva a decade ago and Dot before that. It did not fare well this time.
When I came home this morning, from far I could see the house, just the roof was off. And when I went inside, it was just devastating to see this place all. Everything is just gone.
But she's not moving either, not if she can help it.
Well, this is the only place that I have, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I'd like to.
Sachiko Yoshimoto was cleaning her yard the day after. Her house, the oldest in Lawai, more than 100 years old.
I thought it would be worse than this. I thought it was gone to the ground. That's what I thought.
But she still counted her blessings.
Well, I'm fortunate as it is. Some people could be worse than I am. I prayed God.
Everywhere you looked, people said they'd move back. Even though Poipu and Lawai were smashed by the last two hurricanes, with a tear in their eyes and a smile in their faces, life goes on in Poipu.
Well, it would be 3 more days before we could get a crew into the Hanalei area by EO helicopter. That story when our special report continues.
This could have been...
These could have been the kids' own toys.
It could have been a business you built with your own hands.
The roof over your own head.
Folks, let's help our neighbors, huh? Hawaii is a small town.
And all we've got is each other.
Bring your Iniki disaster relief checks to any branch of Bank of Hawaii.
A special report to State Farm policyholders. Disaster service teams are continuing to process claims. More than 10,000 damage claims have been processed to this date at our Disaster Service Center. State Farm policyholders who haven't reported damage to their homes or cars should call their agents immediately. If you are unable to reach your agent, please call 839-3804.
Highs and Kobe Japanese Steakhouse invites you to help protect Hawaii's environment. Through September 30th, dine at Highs or Kobe in Lahaina or Waikiki. A portion of your dinner check will be donated to one of these Hawaii environmental groups on your behalf to protect Hawaii's native forests and wildlife. Additionally, if your party orders 4 or more entrees, receive this beautiful book as our gift. Mahalo from Highs and Kobe.
On primary election night, you'll be faced with an avalanche of information. If you don't want to be buried by it all, watch KGMB. With the world's most advanced election management computer system and the experience of Bob Jones, Jade Moon, and political analyst Dan Boylan, we'll be able to sort out the information, synthesize it, and bring things into focus better than any other Hawaii television station. The 92 election, Saturday, September 19th, starting at 6 on KGMB.
After Iniki, the houses gone, the local Honganji mission collapsed. The people over there are scared. They were very hard hit, and they're hard to get to, too. Tiffany Spencer and photographer Glenn Tangen got through, though. We'd like you to hear a couple of West Kauai storm stories direct from the residents in Waimea and Kekaha, and by comparison, one resident right after the hurricane bruised the Waianae coast here on Oahu.
We really need help. We really need help, really. I know the hurricane we had the last time wasn't so bad, but this one here was really terrible. When I came back, everybody's house was like this. Mine is all gone, you know, and I really don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if it was only me and my husband, but I have my grandchildren, and I have my daughter, you know. They try their best to help me whatever they can, but it's not only me, it hit plenty guys too, you know, and I feel so sorry for them.
At least every house suffered damage and lot of serious damage, yeah. Like my house is total, you know, but we're just doing whatever we can. That's about it. Right?
I don't know, what's the general feeling of everybody around here?
Well, we're just keeping together, everybody helping each other, you know. It's a family situation here, and, you know, no communications, no water, no ice, but we're just doing whatever we can. That's about all we can do.
Yesterday afternoon, about 10 o'clock, I guess we were standing here trying to batten down the hatches as best we could. And all of a sudden, I heard something coming. It sounded like a freight train, and I looked up in this direction, and all the trees on that side of the road were bending over, and I could almost visually see the gust of wind. When it hit the greenhouses on that end, all the roof structures on that end exploded, and there was like a cannon shot, and the neighbors for 4 or 5 blocks in each direction thought something had exploded, and what it was all this plastic breaking loose at one time. And it proceeded to come through the greenhouse, but at that point, most of the energy had gone out. But the trough system here that we grow the tomatoes in, they were spiraling in the air. They're actually completely off the ground and spiraling. So at that point in time, I thought it was about time to go to the shelter. So I said, well, the wind can have it.
We knew the storm was, you know, going to come in a couple of hours and stuff. And, you know, I told my kids, come on, let's get ready, let's get prepared, get in the house. And the winds were starting up, and I don't know, to me, just like we was in the center of it, and it just came, you know. I was in my kitchen, and I just happened to look out. My garage was there, and all of a sudden, our garage was down in a split second.
One thing we found, people were always glad to see our news crews out there. They wanted their story told, even when they knew they had no television themselves, so it wasn't ego of the, hey, I'm going to be on television kind. It was a genuine need to talk to somebody, anybody. If you've ever been through a hurricane, well, maybe you can't readily appreciate the force of the wind. A fellow in West Kauai took a Navy Pacific Fleet photographer on a quick tour of what's left of his house.
So come around front here and look in. I've got a apartment down here. There's my garage stuff I'm collecting. I want you to see that chair right there. Yeah. That, if you try and pick that up, that's a very heavy chair. And that was in this apartment over here. How it got here, I do not know. This was fully furnished. And when I first walked and looked in here, I thought the looters had been here. 10 cubic foot refrigerator sat here. A microwave sat right there. Queen size bed, a sleep sofa, complete furniture, dinette here. The place was absolutely empty. All that stuff got washed out of here, around the bend, most of it, and went back And there's a door of my refrigerator sticking up out of that pile of rubble there. There's the sleep sofa right here. All that stuff, the action of that, washing it out of that apartment and back there, and it's all piled back there. And I found some of my belongings 4 or 5 houses down the street.
That is amazing, but now you know, and knowing you'll be better off if you never have to go through one. We're going to be right back with some personal messages from families on Kauai to families on the other islands.
Have been you. Most of us were lucky, huh?
These could have been the kids' own toys.
It could have been a business you built with your own hands.
The roof over your own head.
Folks, let's help our neighbors, huh? Hawaii is a small town.
And all we've got is each other.
Struggling. You can help by giving to the following relief organizations: the Salvation Army, Hurricane Iniki Relief, P.O. Box 620 Honolulu, cash donations. Also, the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund on Diamond Head Road. You can also make non-perishable food donations to the Hawaii Food Bank. Call 847-4655. With your help, our Kauai Ohana can survive. These days of Iniki will become part of the institutional memory of the people of Hawaii. The great wind broke houses and utility poles, but it did not break the will of the Ohana to work together, to make the best of what was at hand and to keep going. Surviving natural disaster has been a hallmark in the evolution of human beings. But Melvin Carrillo of Kapa'a had a nice, snappy way of saying that. I'll make you a bet that Kauai bounces back before Florida bounces back. Good night.
Yeah, I'm Tando. Hey, Tico, Betsy, we're okay. Auntie Jenny, we're okay too. Agustina, no problem over here, guys. Just a little sand, a lot of dirt in the back, rubbish. It's all mine, so no problem. Just fixing my water now. Once we get that, no problem. Everything's okay. Till the next one.
2 sons in Honolulu and a daughter in Honolulu, and we have our one son's family, Deidre, and our grandson Matthew. And I just wanted to pass on to him that my wife Marge and I are okay, and that our son who lives a block away from us, they lost their whole roof. They won't be able to live in their house. However, they're all okay. My son and his wife and all their kids.
This is Teddy Rentrop and Ross. We were doing fine. We survived the storm. Despite living next to the ocean, we have a dry accommodation. We have part of the roof gone, but everything is dry inside the house. We have sleeping place to sleep. Food will be an item we'll be needing in about 2 days, as we do have enough to last for about 2 or 3 days.
We don't have any charcoal, but other than that, we're surviving. That's the main part. Everybody is well and good. The morale is high because everybody is fine. Of course, when you see disaster, of course, the heart sinks. But if we can save some of our household goods in a makeshift of the torn home, at least we can put it all in one area and save it. But as for me, just another hurricane, and it's just material things, so I just save what I can just to make good. But I know I will never be able to come back to this house. It's just demolished, period.